The following is a presentation of the Game Time Sports Network. From the campus of Motlow State Community College in beautiful Tullahoma, Tennessee, this is Motlow State Bucks men's basketball. And now it's game time. Yes, indeed, folks, it is once again game time. I'm Jay Harper, Game Time Sports Network, as we are about to fire up the men's game here from Copper Weld Arena on the campus of Motlow State here in Tullahoma, Tennessee. Jay Harper, Game Time Sports Network, back with you as the Pellissippi men are getting ready to take on the Motlow State men. That women's game was just unbelievable as a buzzer beater ended up winning it for Motlow State. Aaliyah Brown putting it in the bucket to come away with a 66-64 victory for Motlow State and keep them undefeated thus far in this young season. Pellissippi State. Wow, what an amazing program that they had last year. The debut for Pellissippi State basketball, and they ended up going to the final game in the TCCAA tournament last year, held in Southwest Tennessee. We were fortunate here at the Game Time Sports Network to be covering that tournament last year. Coach Darian Jones and company for Pellissippi State able to just pull off the improbable by making it to the final game there last year. So this the second year of their existence, and they have a handful of returning players that we'll get to here, but we're going to pause while our veterans are being honored here at the facility.
Thank y'all so much. To our veterans, thank you for your courage, your sacrifice, your unwavering commitment to protecting our freedoms. Your service inspires us all. Fans, please join us in another round of applause to show our deepest gratitude for our veterans.
So with yesterday being Veterans Day, the veterans in the crowd honored. That's a nice touch.
We have number 0, Deshaun Payton.
So the starting lineups being announced here for Pellissippi State. Deshaun Payton.
JoJo Lyles. Number 7, Jadavian Young.
So Deshaun Payton, JoJo Lyles, Jadavian Young.
And 33, Will Tiller. And for your Motlow Bucks, number 0.
I'll be honest, I couldn't understand what the young man was saying on the PA. We'll get through.
Number 23.
We'll get through the lineups here. But as I was saying earlier, Pellissippi State, they've got a handful of guys that are returning from the championship game roster from last season for the Panthers. Deshaun Payton is one of those. JoJo Lyles, also a returning sophomore. Rodrigue Montu, he too a returning sophomore from last year. Kendrick Lloyd, he too was on that team last year. So Coach Darian Jones has a number of players returning from last season. Coach Jones, he's assisted by Quincy Skates, Carnard McCray, and Richard Watkins. The Bucks, they are led by first-year coach Justin Newton, and Coach Newton is assisted by Nick Porter, who's been with the program for a couple of years. As we get ready to get the tip off here. In the circle for the tip, Sagna Oisanu, a 6'11 sophomore from Senegal, number 35. He will face Dante White from Nashville at 6'7 for Pellissippi State. And quickly, away we go. Daniel Price Jr., number 10. Feeding it off now to Ware. And already capitalizing first, number 22, Tayden Ware, a 6'7" freshman, grabbing the first point for the Bucks and Coach Newton. Here's Jadavian Young. He gets it over now to Dante White, number 21, who in turn feeds it to Young. Now back to Young. Far corner. Getting it now to JoJo Lyles, and Lyles puts in a three-pointer to get the scoring started for the Panthers. This is Josh Griffith, number 0. Pellissippi State, though, able to steal it away. In the far corner, giving it back to Lyles, who in turn gives it to Young. And a scramble up under the board. And number 33 puts it in. That would be Will Fellers. Will, a freshman from Knoxville, Hardin Valley Academy. And he gets the bucket and goes to the line. So we have a foul on Fellers. As Josh Griffith will inbound it now. Big long pass over to Oisanu. Working it inside. And that. A successful bucket. Now here's JoJo Lyles in the foot race, feeding it over now to number 21, Dante White. Trying to post up and getting off a beautiful shot off the glass. Sagna Oisanu. Back down the court we go. To the line goes Deshaun Payton. As I mentioned during the women's game, we were fortunate at the Game Time Sports Network to cover Pellissippi State basketball last season. Unfortunately, not the case this season. Budget cuts. Yeah, it stinks, but that's the world we live in. Nonetheless, had a chance to Watch this young man, Deshaun Payton, last year when he was a freshman. Talented player as he sinks that free throw. And finding Oisanu under the bucket for the jam. As we are tied up at 8 here. So we're getting started with this one like we did with the women's game. That game was tied more than any team ever led. Here's Lyles, another returner for Coach Darian Jones. That does not fall. Rebound, Bucks. Bringing it down is Griffith. Josh now feeding it inside. And trying to post up and get it off the glass, but can't quite get that to fall. But Colton Wilbanks, he does fall. Colton Wilbanks out of Gainesville, Georgia. He will go to the free throw line. His grandmother, Joyce Parrish, watching on the live stream. So thank you, Granny Joe. She is called. So, Granny, you just watch Colton sink a free throw to put his team ahead by 1 here. Wilbanks, one of the leading scorers here in the early going of the season, averaging 13 points a game. As Colton can't get that one to fall. Payton inbounds it. And here goes JoJo Lyles, giving it back over to Deshaun. He can't quite handle it, and it goes off his hands. It goes out of play. 16:27 to go here. Early going in this first half. Feeding it in the near corner. That shot doesn't fall. Rebound, Pellissippi State. Racing back down the floor is Jadavian Young. And in the paint, rejected. The foot race back down the court. Far corner, Bryson Johnson, number 21. Now the shot from Tristan Warfield doesn't go. Bryson Johnson guarding on Young. Young giving it now to this tall man, Raza Majid, out of Glasgow, Scotland. Listed at 7'1". And he looks every bit of that. Sophomore. Payton will inbound it. And here goes JoJo Lyles, who passes it off to Freeman. Back to Lyles as he's guarded by Matet Dew. And in the bucket it goes for Motlow, or pardon me, for Pellissippi. The Panthers up by 1. Near corner, And that just doesn't go. Rebound, though. Motlow State. A battle under the bucket. Losing the handle, but retaining it is Warfield. And finally, the Bucks with the bucket. And we get a whistle. .14:21 to play in this first half. Dew, 6'9" sophomore from South Sudan, will sit down for Coach Newton. Looking for some help is Warfield. Now back in the near corner. The shot is good, and that a three-point shot. Lyles gets it over to Payton. And Dante White trying to jam it, but he is rejected by Motlow State's defense. Nice crowd here at Motlow State. Bringing it down is Danny Johnson. And a shot is made. And some man-to-man defense is Terica Stevens, 6'7" freshman out of Somerville, Tennessee, number 15. He gets whistled. Lyles will inbound it. And here is Takarian Freeman. Back over to Freeman. Freeman driving toward the bucket. And he loses the handle, but there is Majid to jam it in for the two. With the left hand, and good, Josh Griffith. And losing the handle is Pellissippi State. Bringing it down now, Tayton Ware, number 22. JoJo Lyles looking over things, being guarded by Griffith, and trying to get a pass. That was Dickens who tried to pass it over to Josh Brown, but that skirted off Brown's hands. Griffith feeding it over now to Wilbanks, and that shot falling for the Bucks, and we get a timeout with 12:03 to go in this first half, as Motlow State has just about doubled up the score on the Panthers. As we step aside briefly on the Game Time Sports Network. A spirited discussion with the troops by Motlow State head coach Justin Newton. As play resumes, JoJo Lyles feeding it now, and down the court we go. And swatted away by Motlow State. Wilbanks off the glass, can't get it to go. And retrieved by Lyles. JoJo bringing it down now, guarded by Griffiths. And well guarded. Josh Brown feeding it now to Freeman. And that falls up under the bucket. Taden Ware will inbound it, and Griffith will carry it down. Now back over to Ware, and the three-point shot, beautiful. Nothing but net. That three-pointer from Xavier Farrell. Xavier's a freshman right here in Tullahoma. Feeding it now to JoJo Lyles. Lyles backing up, getting it over to Freeman now. Freeman trying to get away from Farrell. Just under 11 minutes left in this first half, so we're almost halfway through the first half. So we have a foul call that'll send Takarian Freeman to the line, a freshman from Somerville, Tennessee, listed at 6'2". And that is good. And he connects for both of those. And the fast break, but losing the handle. And racing back down. Wilbanks breaks for the basket. Now looking for help. Gets it over to Ware. Ware's got Panthers all over him. JoJo Lyles being guarded by Johnson. Up under the bucket, and there you have one of the tallest guys on the floor, Sagnia Oisinu, who rejected that shot. So apparently they've called a technical on Motlow. Not quite sure what for. But here we are, 26-17. with Curry now set to inbound things for Pellissippi State. Oh, no, they changed their mind, and Jaden Dickens will do that. Dickens out of Atlanta. A 6'8" freshman. .10:06 remaining in the first half. Feeding it back out to Freeman. And here's Lyles now. Lyles being guarded by Snipe. And we get a three-point shot. And a whistle. Bryson Johnson had the ball for Motlow State. Big long pass over to Warfield. He gets it now to Snipe. Near corner. Snipe gets it back over to Warfield. Warfield bouncing it over to Johnson with the bounce pass. And we get a foul. Coming in is Stevens, as Dew goes out for Motlow State. Getting the ball now to Matthew Sharp. Matthew, one of the returners for Coach Darian Jones. He was on the team last year, a sophomore this year, of course. And now Johnson comes up with it. And a nice move, and the bucket. Freeman backing away with Bryson Johnson guarding him. Josh Brown gets it over to Freeman, and that, a pretty three-pointer for Pellissippi State. But the Bucks answer to a certain degree with a two-pointer of their own. And stolen away on the errant pass. Up under the bucket, and there is a pretty move from Curry to add two more for Pellissippi State with 7:25 remaining in the first half. This is Canny Johnson giving it to Bryson Johnson, and off the glass for a three-pointer. So we get another timeout. 30-second timeout, so we'll stay right here. 10-point lead for the Bucks at the moment. But you get the feeling that no lead is safe. A very up-tempo game thus far. Dickens inbounding it for the Panthers. And the layup doesn't go. Rebound Bucks. Back down the floor goes Kenny Johnson. Now the shot. And that. Another tray. Josh Brown. And rebound Bucks. Bringing it down is Snipe. Warfield comes up with it, but he gets fouled with 6:11 remaining in half number one. Tristan Warfield is a 6'8" freshman. Louisville, Kentucky is where he calls home. And Ware just takes the ball away and manages to come up with 2 points. Tayden Ware just literally ripped the ball out of the hands of Pellissippi State. Curry inbounds it for the Panthers. And falling hard is Young. Jadavian Young. And with that, Young will step to the free throw line. With the Panthers down by 15. And gets a roll that doesn't go their way. This is Gavin Johnson, number 30. Trying to work his way toward the basket. Feeding it, trying to get it over to Wilbanks. But there was Rodrigue Muntu, who is a returner for Coach Johnson, or Coach Darian. Darian Jones, the head coach for Pellissippi State. This is their second year of existence with the basketball program. The Bucks couldn't get that one to fall. Racing down toward the bucket. Just wild abandon heading down the floor. Pellissippi couldn't get anything to happen on that possession. A lot of traffic up under the bucket. 5:03 left to play in the first half. This is Gavin Johnson. 3 players on this Bucks team. Oh, and the follow-through jam by Wilbanks. There you go, Granny Joe. Oh, goodness. A collision there with Muntu and Tayden Ware. So Muntu will step to the line. Muntu, a Canadian from Calgary, Alberta, listed at 6'5". Rodrigue on that championship game team for Coach Jones last season for Pellissippi State. A team that surprised everyone. They were, I believe, the 7th seed in the tournament, if I recall correctly, and ended up in the championship game that Columbia State was able to come away with. Coach Winston Neal with a fantastic program at Columbia State, and they look like they are indeed the team to beat this season in the TCCAA. Ware has the ball swatted away. Muntu inbounds it. Charging the basket. Number 9, Chris Mulambella. He is from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Number 9 in the game for Coach Jones. As his free throw misses the mark. Can't get that one to fall either. Here's Wilbanks. And Colton has it go in and out on him. Can't get that to go. Muntu giving it now to Young. Saved by Dante White. Here's Muntu once again. And finally, the Panthers come up with a bucket. Griffith has Muntu all over him, and Jadavian Young also in on that. Muntu now from the far corner. That shot doesn't go, but Muntu gets the rebound. A lot of traffic up under the bucket. Finally, they roll around on the floor, and the ref with 2 thumbs up. Tayden Ware will bring it in. That shot doesn't fall, but there are the Bucks with the rebound, and ultimately it does pay off. The hustle under the basket. Young running it down, feeding it now. Ooh, and that a beautiful long three-pointer. Tatum Ware, and has his pocket picked, but for naught at the moment. This is Stevens to bring it in. Gets it over to Griffith. And the foot race is on between he and Moltow. And it's swatted away. But I believe we get a foul. Griffith will step to the line now. And good for both. Payton to inbound it, and then as he tries to grab the pass, he falls to the deck. Just under a minute and a half left in this first half, as Payton will get a turn at the free throw line. Comes up empty there. And can't connect on either one as Wilbanks comes up with the rebound. Griffith scurrying back down the floor. And a shot, that a three-point shot. And a number of threes already in this game. JoJo Lyles thinking about a shot, then backs away. Lyles being guarded by Wilbanks, gets it over to Payton, and Deshaun's shot is good. So we get a foul call that Coach Newton not very thrilled about. Payton inbounding it to Moltow. Rodrigues' shot is good. That for two. Griffith and Payton, both number 0. And we appear to have another whistle-happy ref in this game. That was the case in the women's game. Griffith now to the line with 15.7 seconds remaining in this first half. Ware comes in for Snipe. And some stiff defense here as the clock winding down. We're under 10 seconds. Young looking for a shot. Can't get off a clean shot as Griffith is there to offer up the defense. So we head to the locker room at the half, 53-35. We have a 15-minute halftime here from Copper Weld Arena. So you can join us in about 15. And the second half will commence as Motlow State has this one thus far firmly in hand. It's Jay Harper. Join me and Nashville radio legend John Bozeman, known as Johnny B, as we gab about all things radio, entertainment, and music in the Circling the Drain podcast. We share stories and experiences from our more than 90 combined years of being in the biz. Yeah, we're old. Come along for the ride. You never know where it may take you. It's the Circling the Drain podcast, available every Wednesday morning on all podcast platforms. We are about to resume things here from Copperweld Arena, with Motlow State clearly having things in hand versus Pellissippi State. As you can see, yes, that score is correct, 53-35, with the Bucks on top as the second half is just seconds away. JoJo Lyles with the ball. Giving it over to Dante White. Now here's Deshaun Payton. Payton being guarded by Taden Ware. And can't get that to fall. As Farrell now gets it to Wilbanks, who gets it for two. Payton has it rejected. Back down the floor as Wilbanks has it knocked away. Colton Wilbanks, again, thus far, one of the leading scorers for Motlow State, averaging 13 points a game. Short on that shot. He can't believe it. Colton out of Gainesville, Georgia, gets that one to fall. Daniels gets it over to Payton. Or pardon me, that's Young, Jadavian Young. JoJo Lyles making a move toward the basket. Feeds it off to Deshaun Payton. Now back over to Young. And in the paint with the left hand is Will Fellers, number 33. Haven't said his name since the early portion of the game. And a pretty move, but can't get that ball to fall. Lyles brings it back down for the Panthers. Thinks about pulling up for a shot. Does so now. The three-pointer doesn't go. Rebound, Bucks. Ooh, and a little bit of a temper flare there as Will Fellers and Ursinu. And I believe we may have a technical called here. Coach Newton having a discussion with his big, tall center. Nope, no foul called. Ware with the shot, and it misses, but rebound Bucks. The offensive boards and a three-point shot. That makes it 59-37. And the foot race. Young feeding it off now. And we get a whistle as Dante Weil, excuse me. I think I've been saying his name wrong all game. My vision failing me. W-H-I-L-E as opposed to W-H-I-T-E. So I apologize to Dante and his family and friends. Dante, a redshirt freshman, 6'7", went to Laverne High. So I guess they're saying that Dew stepped out when he retrieved that. Will Fellers with the inbound. Now here's Payton. His shot doesn't go. Fellers with a nice move, but 4-0. Back down the floor come the Bucks. That shot misses. JoJo Lyles. Payton will inbound it here for the Panthers. JoJo looking for some help, gets it over to Young. Now Lyles with the three-point attempt. It is no good. Oh, an awkward landing by Payton. Fortunately, he's okay. That's a great way to tear an ACL or a meniscus tear, what have you. My goodness, he landed awkwardly on that knee. But he's moving fine, thank goodness. Racing back down the floor, giving it to Lyles. Now over to Jadavian Young. That's Bryson Johnson on him. Payton gets it over to Young. And that shot is good. That is a three-pointer. And the ball stripped by Payton. Rebound, Panthers. Keeping it alive now. Ultimately, the Bucks come up with it. And a nice lay-in by Javion Snipe. That puts us at 61-40. And a timeout, a full timeout, is called. This is the Game Time Sports Network. It's Jay Harper. Join me and Nashville radio legend John Bozeman, known as Johnny B, as we gab about all things radio, entertainment, and music in the Circling the Drain podcast. We share stories and experiences from our more than 90 combined years of being in the biz. Yeah, we're old. Come along for the ride. You never know where it may take you. It's the Circling the Drain podcast, available every Wednesday morning on all podcast platforms. Jay Harper, Game Time Sports Network, as Coach Newton and Coach Parker have got things well in hand with their Motlow State squad here thus far. Up by 21 over Coach Darian Jones and Pellissippi State. Young with a fancy move. Now Lyles tries to score. Bryson Johnson rolling around on the floor. And ultimately possession awarded to the Bucks as Stevens inbounds it now, gets it over to Connie Johnson. 3 players named Johnson on this Motlow State team. And amazingly, through all of that traffic, Motlow State able to score. Now Johnson with the left-handed shot, doesn't go. Rebound, Panthers. This is Kendrick Lloyd, another returner for Coach Jones from last year's team. Number 5 for Pellissippi State. A little bumping and grinding there. No whistle. Letting them play. Just getting it under the shot clock. JoJo Lyles being double teamed on defense by the Bucks. Here's Curry, number 15, and he has it rejected. Stepping to the line now is Stevens, a 6'7" forward. Freshman out of Somerville, Tennessee. Fayette Ware High School is his high school program. Jalen Evans, number 1, coming in for Pellissippi State, as does Josh Brown, number 20. And that is good. Kendrick Lloyd racing down the floor for Pellissippi State. Decides to pull up with a little jumper. Taden Ware handing it off to Farrell. Now Griffith directing traffic, gets it back over to Ware. Taden trying to post up. Does, but can't get it to fall. But there is Senga to put it in. JoJo Lyles being guarded by Farrell. Nice, pretty move by Jalen Evans, but can't get the shot to go. Evans will inbound it now for the Panthers. Gets it out to Lloyd. Kendrick tries to take it on his own, but boy, there's a whole bunch of Bucks there that are saying otherwise, and an easy layup now for Griffith. So the track meet continues. Evans pulls up and makes the shot. So we have a timeout. .30-second timeout. Motlow State coming into this game 2-1 on the season. Their loss to Columbia State, who was the conference champion last season, and it looks like Coach Winston Neal, all that dude does is just reload, man, for that program. Pellissippi State, they have a conference victory over Dyersburg State. So again, the conference play just getting underway in the season. Here's Griffith. And now Farrell driving. And a whistle. Right under the bucket for the jam by Taden Ware. Freeman takes it all by himself. Nicely done. Griffith giving it over. Oh, there. A three-pointer. Another tray for the Bucks. And that an easy shot off the glass. And we've got another timeout. This a full timeout on the Game Time Sports Network. 11 minutes, 8 seconds remaining in this second half. As the Bucks bring it down, Taden Ware gets it to Wilbanks, but we get a whistle. Gets it over to Farrell in the far corner. And Farrell's shot misses the mark, but he gets his, well, that's Ware that gets the rebound. Taden will go to the line. Freshman forward from Gainesville, Georgia. He, along with Wilbanks, both from Gainesville, Georgia. We get some subs as Bryson Johnson comes in the game. And so does Kenny Johnson. Freeman looking for some help. Now from the far corner, that shot no good. And we have another tussle for the ball. Evans inbounding it now to Mulambela. And up under the bucket, they get the 2 points. Feeding it inside to Warfield. Johnson now back out to Johnson. Swatted out of play. We are under 10 minutes, so we're halfway through the second half. 9:59 on the clock. Stepping to the line is Josiah Curry, freshman out of Memphis. Stevens in the game now as Dew comes out. Mad scramble under the bucket. Warfield trying to post up, but initially or eventually dishes it off. Johnson with the right hand puts it in. 2 more for Motlow State. And the Panthers answer. Just zigzagging all over the place here. And another 2 points. And double teamed, but managing to maintain possession. The Bucks looking at a three-pointer, and that rolls in and out. Rebound, though, nicely done by Snipe to put it back in and collect 2 more for the Bucks. Curry will step to the line. And his shot is good. Oh, mercy. Moltow and Ware colliding and hitting the floor hard. So with that, Ware will take his place at the free throw line with 7:55 to go. Point lead for Motlow State. And the fortuitous bounce puts another point on the board for the Bucks. And now ripping it out of Pellissippi's hands. Moltow shot doesn't fall. Rebound Bucks. And Snipe, surrounded by Panthers, feeds it back out to Griffith. Josh pulls up, tries for the three, and it bounces back over the backboard. Big long pass, and that rolls in and out. And keep trying. And ultimately, the Panthers end up back with it. Evans is denied as he tries to slam. Snipe. And that. Another tray for the Bucks. Quick timeout here. .6:48 on the clock. Our next matchup on the Game Time Sports Network for Motlow State will be November 22nd. That is a Saturday. Jackson State will come here to Copper Weld Arena. This Saturday, we will be at Cleveland State for our debut broadcast, live stream of Cleveland State basketball here on the Game Time Sports Network. JoJo Lyles feeding it in the far corner. That shot doesn't fall. Ware grabs the rebound and takes it by himself, loses the handle on it. This is Alex Pollard, number 14, who's in the game for the Panthers. Griffith being chased down by Jalen Evans. Now Pollard and Evans both on Griffith, and a foul is called. And Evans gets called for it. Stevens and Wilbanks coming into the game. As Griffith goes to the line. Wilbanks comes up with it in the scrum. And there's Stevens contributing as well, and finally getting it to fall. And an errant pass that goes out of bounds. .5:41 to play. Wilbanks inbounds it. Gets it over to Griffith. Now back to Colton. Stevens finds Farrell, and a nice move from Farrell to add two more to the ledger. And Wilbanks adding a jam as things are just totally out of control here. 5 minutes exactly left to play. As the Bucks extending their lead, they were up by 20, now they're up by 30. Technical. Not sure why. Don't know if there was some taunting, or maybe Wilbanks hung on the rim a little too long. Here's Griffith now. The Bucks still up by 30. As Griffith sinks another. Pollard with a shot that doesn't go. Rebound Bucks. Griffith finds Farrell and can't get that to fall. Wilbanks fighting for it and comes up with the bucket. And goes to the line for the three-point play. The Motlow State baseball team here to cheer on their counterparts on the basketball team. As that rattles around. Pollard bringing it down the floor. That three-pointer doesn't fall. Rebound, Motlow State. And a beautiful move. As the Bucks close to hitting the century mark here. To the line goes J.D. Harris. J.D. is a 6'2" freshman out of Knoxville. Dew puts it in to add two more for Motlow State. As Pollard runs it down and he gets an easy layup. This is Gavin Johnson, number 30, being chased down, and Pollard picks his pocket. Down the floor he goes. And I believe Pollard gets fouled with 3:32 to go. And Pollard good on both attempts. So back to the line we go as Gavin Johnson misses his first free throw attempt. But is good on the second. And an easy layup, and yes. Oh, and a nice shot, three-point shot. Just throwing it up on a wing and a prayer was Trey Terry, number 3 in the game now for Motlow State. And the tip in doesn't go for the Panthers. This is Jaden Dickens. And he hits both. Pollard pulls up for a 3 and buries it. Man, he was about 5 or 6 feet beyond the arc and buried that shot. Nothing there. Snipe giving it over now to Terry. But here comes Pellissippi State. Evans. An easy layup, but I guess it wasn't that easy because it didn't go in. And another in-your-face jam by the Bucks. Pollard tries to get it to go. The Bucks with the rebound. And another three-pointer. Moltow takes a stab at it, and he knocks down the 3. We've just got target practice going here now as we're under 30 seconds to play. .25, as you can see on the clock there, 25.3 seconds. So don't know why you'd call a timeout here, but whatever. Feeding it across the snipe. There's Terry now. Right at the shot clock buzzer. And jamming it in. And as time expires, that is your final, as the Bucks have no trouble with the Panthers. (105-77). The antithesis of the women's game that came down to a buzzer beater that Motlow State was able to come out victorious on, 66-64 in that women's game. But this one, no trouble at all for Motlow State as they make a statement. Motlow State now 1-1 in the conference, 3-1 overall. As the team now gathers midcourt. So that will do it from Motlow State, as again the Bucks make a statement with a 105-77 victory. Our next live stream for Motlow State basketball, Saturday, November 22nd, 2 o'clock start for the ladies, a 4 o'clock scheduled start for the men. And we'll be here on the Game Time Sports Network. We thank you for joining us. Again, the final, 105-77. The Bucks having no trouble with the Panthers. We appreciate you joining us on the Game Time Sports Network.